Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of TerraTech. And on tonight's episode, we are going to be continuing where we left off. Now, we have started a new game here, and our bot is growing in size little by little. You know, it's not the greatest bot in the world, but this playthrough is going to be more of the smaller bots. In fact, this is a lot bigger than I'm going to be making them here in the future. But this is just to get us started, to kind of show how the weight system works and show the base pieces, because we do got to go out there and start up a base. And then we're going to go with really small but incredibly fast bots. I think mainly venture wheels and things of that sort to give us that speed and just see what we can do with that. I'm guessing maybe 3 to 4 long and max, you know, like 3 or 4 wide. I don't think I'm gonna even go that far wide. So they're gonna be very small, very low to the ground, and incredibly fast bots. We're gonna put boosters on these things and just get them going really well. But for now, again, we're doing the bigger ones just to support the weight of all these base pieces that we're going to be picking up. And we're still going through the tutorial. There's still more stuff for us to do. Now, remember, as you go through it, as you fight with these GSO blocks, you're actually fighting for a corporation of the GSO. There's the Geo Core, and then there's the other ones that I mentioned, which are the Venture. And you saw this blue one right here to the side. That is resources. If you destroy that block, you will get a different type of resource out of that block. So make sure you pay attention. This one right here, these blocks right here with the gray stuff in it, those are the most valuable ones. These are the ones that are used in pretty much all recipes that I was talking about on the very last episode. Make sure to keep an eye out for those and remember where they're at. They do kind of regenerate after you've destroyed them, and there's a lot of them over here, so we definitely got lucky with that regard, because sometimes you will start the map in places where there's just not a whole lot of them. You know, it's very hard to find those, and it sucks because it's used in so many things that if you don't have a good supply of that, you're going to have a hard time making stuff. Although this game allows you to just buy stuff if you have to. I believe this is going to be, oh yeah, the SCU storage block. Something they've added into the game recently that is, oh good, you found your SCU storage device. Pick it up and place it on the ground to anchor it. This is something they've added recently. I'm going to go ahead and put down my solar reactor to charge up that while I'm talking to you guys about it before I pick it up and show you exactly what it does. And there's an enemy over there, big high tower type bot that we're definitely going to destroy here in a second. But this thing, when you place it on the ground, does take a few seconds to charge up. I think it's like 10 seconds to charge up. Once it charges up, anything within its vicinity, and I don't know what the block radius of it is. If you guys know for sure what it is, let me know. It's kind of small. I would say maybe 10 to 15 block radius around it. It sucks all the stuff into it and stores it for you. And the damage to this thing, if it's on your bot and it actually takes damage, won't actually destroy it. What it will do, eventually it will destroy, but what it will do more than anything is it will actually, something else just fell down. Oh, there we go, mini drill. Okay, we're going to go ahead and attack him. And there we go, we're taking some damage on it, so let's put that over here. Put the battery back on our bot, and we're going to hold this in our hands right here, because by doing that, we definitely keep it from getting destroyed. So let's keep tagging these guys, and I'll explain more about it in a second here. I just don't want to lose this fight because it did kind of catch me off guard. Wasn't really ready for that. Now if I put this down, oh, he's going to run right into it. He's trying to destroy it. He did not want that to be there. Now you can see it charging up. You'll see that little green, ring around it here in the center. As it gets up to the top, it gets fully charged, and it will start picking up all of these pieces on the ground for you, and it will allow you to use them later on down the road. You can see all the little black, lines coming from it, almost like the gravity. It's pulling it up into the air first, it pops it up, and then it puts it into there. It's like a black hole of, awesomeness. So now it says you can access that. What that will do is, if you look over here on the left-hand side, it will say Show Inventory. You can click on that, and this is your inventory now. It's all the blocks that you've discovered. All the black ones are ones that are in the game, but you have yet to discover them, which means you can't purchase them, you can't use them until you find them somewhere in the game, either on a bot or in one of the pedestals that's randomly thrown throughout the world. You can see these wheels, and you can see now I have 10, because there's a little 10 right there next to the wheel item, and it says you can earn money by, okay, yeah, we already know all that. We'll definitely get to that here in a second, but you can see I have 10 of them. So if I need to use that, I can click on it, and now I have a wheel right here, and I can go ahead and attach them to my bot with leisure. I can click it again, it will click them off. If I don't want them, I'm like, oh, I got too many of those, I'll just throw them down here on the ground. I can use them for later. So you'll see they get sucked up here in a second. It takes a few seconds, and now I have 9, now I have 10, and now I have 11 of those. So I was holding on to a few extras. Now I can throw them down. It used to be that if you had all this stuff, you had to hold on to it because that was the only way to take stuff with you until they added this device, and that's absolutely amazing. Instead of having to go back and sell everything that I pick up that I don't need at the moment, I can store it for later and create as many bots as I want because I have the blocks already and I don't need to keep buying them. Now, you'll see that it doesn't pick up anything that's anchored. If I throw the battery on the ground, it will eventually try to pick it up. You definitely want to hang on to the batteries for now anyways. There is a few things I would mention about this right off the bat, guys, just for those of you who are just coming to the game and you haven't really played it that much. There are a few items, such as the GSO receiver, and I guess, if you're coming to the game, you don't know what that is yet, but you'll find it in the game later on. There is a small version of the GSO receiver, and then there is a large version of the GSO receiver. Unfortunately, there is no large version of the GSO receiver in the inventory. And so when the item is picked up in this system right here, in this collector, it does not show up in here as a large. It shows up as a small, and you can just never get access to the large ones ever again until you either find it or make it yourself. So if you find that item and you need that item or you want to use that item later down the road, don't let this thing pick it up. There is a few other pieces, I think, like that. I can't think of any other ones offhand at the moment, but I think there was a couple other ones that you do kind of want to make sure that this thing doesn't pick up. But those are things you're going to have to learn and things you'll figure out as time goes on. And this guy's getting closer and closer to us, so let's go ahead and see if we can take him out real quick. I'm going to move that there, and I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the backside. Now, one thing I was saying before is if this thing takes damage, all the blocks that are inside will get destroyed first. Like, it will go through, it gets hit once or twice, one of the blocks on the inside will get destroyed. Random block, it doesn't matter which one, it picks one for you automatically. But one of those will get destroyed, and then it will go to another block and it will destroy that one. Then another block and another block. And before this thing is destroyed, all the blocks that you've collected the entire game will be destroyed first. So this thing has a lot of hit points, in other words, as time goes on. Now, I could put this thing on the ground. I'm going to definitely put it over here a little bit further away because there are some new blocks over here that I want to pick up myself, such as the GSO 2 block. Until recently, the 1 block is what we've been picking up. And again, I know I said I'm going to go small, and I definitely am going small. Unfortunately, at the moment, no, that's not what we want to do. I want to put that way over there. Unfortunately, at the moment, I need to have room for my base pieces and to get them back to where I want them to go. Come on. Again, I hate this stupid scrolling out while we did it. Used to be that, the scroll wheel used to zoom in and zoom out, unless, of course, you were building something. If you were holding an object in your hand and you were scrolling the wheel, it would just scroll through the functions, the different angles you could have. And I think that worked out incredibly well. I'm not sure why they changed it, to be honest. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go that way, and then we'll go down. But yeah, I'm not really sure why they changed it. That doesn't look right. 1, 3, 4. Okay, so I want one too far. Let's put that one on there and bring this one back over here so it doesn't get sucked in. But yeah, I'm not really sure why they changed it. You'll see down here in the bottom right-hand corner, there is an undo button. If you ever take anything off of your bot, I guess I shouldn't say if you ever take anything off your bot, it doesn't show up all the time. In fact, sometimes you will, like if you clicked on your cab right there in the center and you pulled the cab out, your entire bot would dismantle itself because it's the same thing as if your bot was destroyed. There's no longer a cab there holding everything together. If you did that, hopefully the undo button will show up. You can click it and it will reattach everything for you. That is an amazing tool that didn't always used to be in the game, and it's very, very useful. I love that thing. I cannot, sing the praises of that design any more than I already have, because it's just if you don't have it, it sucks. Like, you can make some pretty big mistakes sometimes and not realize that you're taking something off that you didn't mean to, and half your bot just disassembles, and now you have to sit there and reassemble the whole thing. So, yeah, definitely enjoy that piece a lot. But it doesn't always show up unfortunately. You'll have instances where you do something that you're like, oh, I can't believe I just did that, and the undo button's not there. So in that situation, you are left to rebuild your whole bot from scratch, or from whatever point that you lost, all those pieces fell onto the floor. And, that's, flaws in every system. I'm not going to give them, any stuff for that. That's definitely something that you'll find in pretty much every game, that there's going to be things that work and things that still need to be refined a little bit. But overall, I think it's an amazing system that they have on there. Now, I am going to move this back a little bit, and I'm also going to move this and move this, I think, over here, and see how that works. Let me attach some power to it and see what the bubbles look like. Shield bubble is off to the left, not quite covering the entire thing. You can see the lines. This wheel on the left is not covered, and this wheel on the right that we see over here is not covered. However, the front is covered and the back is covered, so pretty good placement. This is the only thing that's not placed incredibly well, and you can see right there was a weapon that got right outside the range. And most of the power right here is being drained really quickly because we only have one battery, and the battery has very, very little power, to be honest, at that stage, because it's the smaller batteries. There are bigger batteries out there that will hold more, but they are bigger in size. And somebody was telling me that these small ones actually hold a little bit more charge than the bigger ones do for equal space. So if you get a bigger battery that's a 4x4, which means it's 4 of these going, one going left, one, I don't know how to describe it. It's like this, one right there, one right here where this block is, one right here where this block is, and another block right here where this block is, and then going down and over to the side. So it's a cube in that shape right there. That right there with 4 blocks, or the same amount of batteries in that size of this type, will actually hold more charge than the bigger one. I don't know if that's true. If it is, that's kind of messed up. I think they should change that a little bit. The bigger one should hold more charge than the smaller ones, because there's a lot of space wasted on the smaller ones because of the shell. And if a bigger one would have more space on the inside and less space wasted with the actual shell of the battery. So you would think it would hold more of a charge. But again, I've been told the exact opposite on that one. Sorry, guys, I had to get a little bit of water there. But, yeah, we're going to go ahead and charge this up a little bit more. We're going to go throw this on there now. So it's back here on the back. You can see it's very, very heavy. So make sure you take that into account. Let's go ahead and throw this on there. This thing is actually too high. So you'll see that it sticks up a little bit more in the back, which means it can get damaged that way. So I'm going to put it down a little bit closer to the ground. And it's also going to help with, the weight not being too much on the top. Now, we do have several things to look at. There's some orange stuff over here. So we're going to be heading in this direction. There's red in the other direction, which means there's an enemy over there. So if you want to get a couple more blocks, start filling this thing up, start planning ahead for things you're going to need down the road, that's definitely something you can do. But at the moment, we're going to be keeping with the storyline, because I want to do more building with our base, and I want to start getting our smaller bots into effect. So this is more dangerous enemies outside of the area. So we're leaving the newbie zone, basically, the safe zone. And as we go further and further outside that, we're going to get into some bigger and bigger enemies. The enemies usually are based off of your size. The bigger you get, the bigger they get. And you reach a certain size that most of the time you'll start finding Geocore rather than GSO. And Geocore are the big, big blocks right there. Let's see if we can attack this guy from afar. I'm hoping we don't have to get too close to him. Oh, man, he's coming right at us. And he has the hill. Oh, man, I can't even see the guy. I'm hoping my battery lasts. Let's look at the battery power. It's actually doing pretty good. Oh, no, there's a battery there. Oh, man. Oh, man, he had a battery and I just kept firing at him. Let's see what he dropped. Let's come over here. And while I'm taking a look at that, I am going to, of course, charge up my battery, because there is a big fight coming up. We do got some stuff here. Let's go ahead and put this down. Now remember why it's down. It's vulnerable, and it does take a few seconds for it to charge up, but this is a good way in between the fights to pick up all the stuff that's on the ground, unless you want to come back to it later down the road. I would like to see a way for you to, at some point down the road, when you've gotten to a certain size, for you to be able to power this, even if it takes a lot of power to do so, while it's on your bot. So you can just pick stuff up automatically without having to without having to put it down and wait for that. Again, I don't want it to be right off the bat. I don't want it to be something that everybody can do really quickly. I want it to be something you earn, because it's going to be overpowered once you get to that point. It's going to be so easy to start collecting stuff, because you'll just be able to go over there and wreck face so quickly. Oh, no, don't do it, don't do it. Oh, we might be able to kill this guy. I think we're killing him. Yes, oh, nice, he is dead. Now, because we killed that guy, we got a GSO license upgrade, grade 2. And it says, congratulations, the GSO has upgraded your license to grade 2. The following blocks can now be purchased at the GSO trading station, or constructed with the GSO fabricator. And then you hit continue if you want to close this down. But we actually got 3 different blocks we can now purchase without even having to find them. So if you hadn't found these 3 blocks right here on the ground or off of a bot, you'd now have access to them. And one of those blocks we haven't found before. So we got the 2-block GSO, which we have found. We got the slightly bigger wheels, which we've had access to. But the little thing on the bottom, which is looking like a grate, is actually a light. That is a long light that you can put on your bot. And now we have access to that, even though we haven't found it in the game yet. So that is a very, very cool little thing. And it's kind of like your corporation saying, well, thanks for using our pieces. This is a way for us to thank you for that. Now, there is a battery over here I'm going to snag. We're going to put that on there. And then there's a lot of blocks over here. We even have I think it's a repair bubble right here. No, it's a shield bubble. And you can, of course, use more shield bubbles on your bot, as many of them as you want, actually. But it's going to use more and more power as you do so. And you can see there's a few pieces that were just right outside the range of this thing. So it does have a limitation on how far it can go out. We can put that there, and it should be able to pick up the rest. I don't know if it instantly repairs everything that it picks up. That would be an interesting thing to find out. I'm guessing it probably does. You know, even though it's probably not right that it does do that, but you know, it takes a little while for it to pick it up, and I guess once it stores it, it's probably repaired, because I've never taken anything out of this thing and had it instantly need to be repaired. But that would be kind of cool if they changed that to where it needed to be. You know, like, you need to make sure you put stuff in there when you need to put it in there, and not before. Otherwise, when you take it out, it's going to be pretty weak sauce, you know. Now, let's go ahead and put that on there and get a little closer to this little device up here, which I can explain to you guys in a little bit more detail. Now, remember, I am going through a lot of the basic stuff for you guys on these very first few episodes, but we will get into a lot more action as we start setting up our base. And this one's out here in the dangerous area. I don't know if I like setting it up out here, because invaders can spawn out here. So it's usually a nice idea to set up your base next to this building right here. This building right here will allow you to purchase stuff. Head over to the trading station and start using it. Now, the best way to start using this thing is to look at the corners. You'll see on the corners right there, there are little computers, little terminals. And if you scroll over here to this side, zoom out a little bit, you'll see there's one on every single one of the corners. In between the corners, there are these little pads. These little pads you can use to sell stuff. So you can either drag stuff there to it, or you can use different other devices to do that for you. And it's getting dark now, which means the solar reactor will not be working anymore. If I put that down right there, you'll see that it's still working at the moment. But in a minute here, those solar panels are going to retract and go back down, and they will not be able to collect any more power. Like right now, not collecting any more power, because it's just too dark and there's nothing to be had for it. If you want to create power at the moment, there are a few other techniques you can use, but we just don't have the access to the parts that we need for them just yet. Okay, and I do apologize for the drinking. It sucks so bad. I hate that I have to keep doing that, but it's that cough. Otherwise, I'll just keep coughing in your ear. Now, if you right-click on the computer terminal, this is where you can buy stuff. Don't get confused with this and the other piece. This thing right here, that if you put that down, you'll see, again, it has to charge up. As it charges up, we're going to wait here, and you can see the moon rising in the background. That is absolutely beautiful. That is amazing looking right there, actually. And that's something they've added recently, too. The same thing with the cloud covers and stuff like that. Now that it's fully charged, you'll see that little thing over here on the left. It's kind of overlapping each other. If I close this down, you'll see these are the pieces that we have. If I minimize that a little bit and right-click on the terminal, these are the pieces we can buy. And if you click on them, it will tell you how much they're worth. 90, I think they're called block bucks or something like that. I thought they were big bucks at one point. whatever you want to call them, BBs is what they, is the initials for it anyways, and it's going to cost 90. Now, the money that you have is in the top left-hand corner. We have 123 because we haven't really sold anything. You do happen to get a little bit of cash from killing certain enemies, especially when invaders spawn. You get a little bit of cash for doing that. It's almost like your corporation paying you for protecting your assets from other people who are trying to come in here and make money. The story, I think, that they've set up is that you're a prospector coming to a planet to work for a corporation. And there's other prospectors on the planet that are trying to do the same thing, and you're all competing against each other for the same amount of resources. So because of that, you get paid a little bit of money, almost like a mercenary for protecting that stuff. There's a few pieces in here that you get right off the bat because we're level 2 grade. The plow and the pusher plow, those are things that we haven't found in the game yet, but we have access to. We also have access to the 3 block, which, oh, actually we don't. It's grade 3 on that one to buy those, but we do have access to those right there. I wonder why it shows it there, even though we don't have access to it yet, and we haven't found it in the game yet, because it should be grayed out or blacked out like that for the other ones. Now, this is the block terminal. If you go up to the cabs, you can see the cabs are completely free. Before you start thinking, oh, that's fantastic, I can just make a bot out of cabs and that's it. Trust me, guys, it's been tried. I've done videos on it. Other people have done videos on it. The game manufacturers, the devs themselves, have created a cab bot and found out just how horrible a nightmare that was, and they've removed it from the game from what I've heard, because it creates, one, tons and tons of lag. 2, your cabs are one of the weakest things in the game with their regular weapons, and what I mean by weak, I mean completely and totally useless when they're fighting anything that has even a block on it. So if you create an entire cab square with nothing but cabs all the way around the outside, and it's shooting in every direction. You're like, oh, look at the firepower. You can walk up or roll up to a regular, bot like mine, and you can sit there for, I don't know, 150 years shooting at my bot, and you won't do any damage to it. Like that's how weak those lasers are. Of course, I'm exaggerating a little bit. You will do a little bit of damage to this bot, but to nothing at all to the bigger ones that you're going to be wanting to fight and get stuff off of. You're just going to get wrecked. So not useful, even in the remote sense. Don't do that. Try it if you want to, but it's going to be worthless for you. These wheels right here are actually pretty nice. And instead of having wheels like I do right here on the side, what I could do is put these, and they are basically a 2-in-1 deal. You get a block itself that has supports, actual protection, like these blocks right here, as well as having a wheel on the inside, which will allow me to cover the space up here with support and a wheel for extra stability and the weight support of the actual bot. So all these wheels, or all these blocks on the bottom, could be removed and replaced with this right here, this wheel hub, which is an amazing little thing to have. And now I can buy the GSO dirt wheels as well, 75 big bucks for those, or block bucks for those as well. You also have the weapon menu. These are all the weapons that I found. There's several other weapons that we have not found just yet. Stud lasers are the ones that I really, really like to have here on the front. We'll go through each and every one of these little things and show you what you got on here. Now, we do have some lights. These are the GSO light lanterns, the ones that we found. You can see it right here on the front of my bot. It's actually giving off a little bit of light. Now, those do not require any power whatsoever. You also have some light being given off by your cab. Cabs do have lights sources of their own, and you can see it right here on the front, kind of a little shadow right there, but not a whole lot, because these things are very, very small. They just don't really begin to give off a lot of light until they get it to a bigger size. We also have this one right here, the buzz strip, which is something we got access to by leveling up to grade 2. This is a little bit out of our price range, 135 at the moment, and it does give off a good bit of light, but not a whole lot, to be honest, compared to some of the bigger ones in the future. And then you got the SOS searchlight. Again, there's no real big reason for lights. I do wish that they would integrate it into the game a little bit more. Maybe make seasons, so you have a full moon, and then afterwards, crescent moon and things of that sort, no moon, where it's just so dark you can't see anything in front of you. And in those situations, if you don't have lights of some sort, you're going to want to stay inside, or just stay at your base and do some building there or something like that. Otherwise, you're going to need to put lights on your bot to be able to see the enemies. I think that would be a cool aspect. Make it so dark that it becomes useful. Otherwise, it's just kind of like, hey, look, I got some lights on there. It's taking up a space of a gun and not really giving me very much in return for it. So I like to have to choose between, do I want a gun or do I want the actual light so I can see where I'm going. Okay, let's look at the next block on this this list right here. We have this one right here, which actually has a lot of this stuff you're going to be using the good bit of time. This small battery cell right here is the batteries we have over here being charged up at the moment, and they're 173. They used to be like 100. They've changed in price so many times. I bet you 173 is not going to be the final price that it's be setting to. That's just what they have it at the moment. We also have the solar generator, and you're probably like, why do I need more than one solar generator? Well, your base needs a solar generator. It needs power to be connected to it, so you're definitely going to need at least two of those, one for your bot and one for your base. I like to have more than one for each one of them, just for the fact that the more of these they have, the faster they charge up batteries. So if you have on your base, 15 of these solar reactors, and then 100 and something batteries on them, those 15 solar reactors are charging up a lot of batteries, and one solar reactor is just not going to really cover that efficiently. It's going to have a hard it's going to take a long time for it to charge up that many battery packs. And before you think, 100 batteries, that's ridiculous, that's a lot of batteries to have to charge up. Well, the way I like to do it is use these GSO wireless chargers, and if you attach these wireless chargers to your batteries or the solar reactor, what that will do is actually shoot wirelessly, or almost like a Tesla coil, through the air to your bot, to any batteries that you have on your bot, I should say. So if I have a battery right here on my bot, and I have this over here on this side as well, and then I attach one of those wireless chargers to this solar reactor, it will shoot an arc of electricity to my batteries and remotely charge them up without me having to take these things off and attach them manually every single time. And you're probably like, well, that's not really a big deal. Right now it isn't, but later on you're gonna protect these things, because these things are very explosive. So you're gonna want them like hidden on the inside of your bot where you don't even see them anymore, surrounded completely by blocks. And this thing will be able to shoot the electricity through your bot without damaging it and wirelessly charge these things up. So that is a very, very useful thing to have. And if you have a lot of these batteries on your bot and you have a lot of them back at your base, you can just kind of fly by your base and get remotely charged up every single time you're dropping off goods as you go back. And you don't have to sit there and wait like I'm doing, where it's just like slowly charging up each and every time, and you have that downtime in there. You don't really need to do that. You don't have that issue anymore. And it's just a really, really cool thing to have. And of course, now you can buy more repair bubbles and more shield bubbles. They're kind of expensive, but not too bad. And the GSO small generator, this thing right here, which we have not found yet, is the block I was telling you about that will actually take the wood from the trees and create energy with it while you're moving around. So that will definitely charge up your batteries on the go. You don't even have to stop. You just have to scoop up trees every so often and keep going, which is, kind of a useful thing to have in the game, especially at nighttime when there is no way to charge your stuff up. These are all the base pieces that we do not have access to any of them at the moment. The one that you need to kind of watch out for is this GSO payload terminal. Think of this one as a smaller mobile version of what we're standing in front of right now, this trading station. You can't sell stuff to it, so it has that drawback, but you can buy anything that you have in here from it, and all you have to do is take it off of your bot, place it on the ground, attach it to it like this solar reactor is, and then you can buy from it. It will just drop it from the sky. So that is a useful thing to have on your bot. Should you be out there fighting, get into a bad fight, lose like 3 or 4 wheels that are very vital to you, and not happen to have any on you or find any off of the bad guy, you need 3 or 4 wheels in a pinch, you can just buy them from here. I would not suggest taking this thing with you, to be honest, because this does not it's nice to have in a battle because you can just put it down at the end and collect everything, but it weighs a lot and you only get one of these. So if you lose it, I think you lose it. I don't think you get another one from what I've heard, but maybe you do. At some point you're probably not going to want to take that with you everywhere you go. And there's other ways to pick up stuff on the ground once you get to that point. This is all I'm going to say. It's a lot more information than you guys probably want to know at the moment, but we're going through a lot of stuff here, and on the next episode we're definitely going to get into a lot more action. But this episode is explaining the terminal to you guys. You have all your airplane pieces in here, and some of your fuel tanks and things of that sort, propellers. It's really, really cool stuff that It's going to take a little bit getting used to. It's not the easiest stuff in the world. You even have a hover plate in here, which you could make a hovercraft with, which I've never really had very much luck with, but definitely something you could do. Now, all of that stuff was these little buttons here on the left-hand side. Each one of these tabs gives you a new access to the different types of blocks that you have here. Now, if you go up to the top, you'll see that it says GSO. This was all GSO stuff. If you go over to the next one, you'll see GeoCore. These all have new blocks for GeoCore pieces. That's a different corporation, and so therefore they are all completely different from one another. We have not found any of those pieces yet. They are the biggest and baddest pieces in the game. They weigh the most, they're the biggest size, they can carry the most, they usually do the most damage, but they're also, you know, significantly larger, and so therefore if you're going with smaller bots, this is not the way to go. If you go over to the next one, it's a Venture. Ventures are lightweight, very, very fast, fastest ones in the game. However, the trade-off is they're incredibly weak because of it. You know, they're sacrificing weight for strength. You know, like they don't have the strength, and therefore they don't have the weight either, which is good because you can go a lot faster with them. A combination of all three is definitely something you can do, or you can just stick with one or the other. Definitely going to be doing a lot more Venture on this one. The next one is Experimental. Unless you have the R&D pack, you probably won't have access to the experimental one. And these experimental ones, you can see there's some like just regular, there's no graphic for it yet because it's stuff that they're adding into the game just to try out to see if it works. And if it doesn't, they're going to get rid of it. So they haven't even created a graphic for some of these that are in here because they're not sure they're going to keep it. The last one is special, and everybody should have access to this one. You'll have these different color blocks. I don't know why they went the route of having different color blocks rather than just giving you the tool where you can just spray paint your blocks. I think that would be a better thing to do, and you'd be able to have just like an infinite supply of stuff. Different colors that you could do, as long as you do like the color wheel that allows people to do any colors they want. Now, this is something that is special items. They used to have it where you had to find each and every one of these, and some of these you still do have to find. The Sunday one is actually named after the YouTuber Sunday, which I think is the coolest thing ever, that they went ahead and put something in the game for him. That's like the biggest honor I think you can get is a game, you know, giving you something like that. But some of these are really cool, like the jolly red hat and the jolly white beard. You can create a very small bot and put these on there because they're not very big. You know, they cost like $1 big buck. In fact, I'll buy the hat and I'll buy the pumpkin so you guys can see what that looks like. Let's close this down for a second and we zoom. Oh no, I don't want it to pick it up. No, oh, you suck. Okay, let me buy another hat. You suck. All right, now we got a hat over here, and you can see that the hat can go on top. There's a little pumpkin right there. I like the way it looks, but you can see it's very, very small. And you can't make them bigger. You can just add more of them. So if you want to create,
we are
a
definitely
Halloween
going to be doing a lot more series
bot,
in the
which I think we
future,
might
but
actually
here
do,
are a
since we're
few
gonna
of
be
them that
sticking
you
with
guys
smaller
might
ones.
find
We'll do
interesting.
some,
Of course, you're more than welcome to
ones.
check them out. I would
You
love to
definitely
hear
can
your
do that.
comments.
I don't believe you
Again,
can
if
put
you
the
do
hat on
enjoy
this
these
guy. Oh, no,
videos,
you can.
be sure to hit that like
Oh
button,
my
subscribe.
God, that
It's
is
definitely
just,
the indicator
that's
that I
cool.
use
I like
to
that.
tell if you guys
that
want to
is
see
pretty
more
sweet because it
videos
actually
like that
glows in the
of
dark
that
as it's
particular
getting
game style,
a little
of
bit darker out
that
here.
series
We're having that
in the long
bright,
run. So when you
kinda
guys
shine
leave
out
comments
a little
down, it
more than
helps
it normally
me
does. Ooh, there's a
decide
little X
whether
on
we
the
should
side.
keep doing it, as well as whether you want to see games like that in the future.
That's kind of cool.
And here are
but guys,
a few
I think we're
right
going to go
here
ahead and end the
kinda picked
episode
out
here, and on
a
the
few
next
of
one,
different genres.
we definitely will be dealing with
for other
combat. We're going to be going
YouTubers
over a
in the future.
lot of stuff
So
with
if you
combat.
want
So
to
the
get a
next
little
one is
shout
going to
out,
be primarily just going out and
if you group
destroying
with
stuff.
me,
You can see there's a
chances
Venture
are
bot out there.
you will get a
That
shout
Venture
out
bot
here
is the stuff
eventually. But
I
for now,
want, so I'm
these
going
are
to
just
go after
four
him
series that I
and
have
a
that I feel like
lot
could use a
more of
little
him.
bit more attention, and
Mainly
that
for the
you guys
entire
might
episode,
actually
just
enjoy
combat.
as
So
well.
if you're not really
Thanks again
interested
for
in
watching,
combat, you
guys,
can skip
and we
that
will
episode.
definitely catch
If
you
you want
all
to see more
next
combat,
time.
definitely check it out. In fact, he's getting really close to me. I may have to fight him here in a second, regardless of whether I want to or not. But again, guys, I'm AC Gamer. I want to thank you all for watching, and I definitely will catch you all next time. No, we're gonna attack. Oh crap. Okay, we're gonna. Nope, maybe we won't end the episode. Okay, let's do it because I don't want to lose anything here while we were off camera. Let's see if we can destroy this guy and still get some stuff off of him. Oh, here we go. You guys are gonna get a little treat. We're gonna start combat a little sooner. Now you can see now he's starting from behind me, and he's definitely staying there because he knows all my weapons are in the front, and as long as he avoids the front, he is completely and totally safe. So he is very, very smart in that regard. Did I lose a weapon? No, I lost a, he lost a light. Let me go ahead and grab that light, and I'll attach it someplace if I can. Come on, come on. It's a good thing he doesn't have any weapons. He has no weapons whatsoever. Otherwise, he'd be wrecking me right now. I need... The Achilles heel is I have no weapons behind me. That was stupid on my behalf. I can't believe I did that. I know better than to do that. Oh, man. Come on, man. Oh, he does have weapons. He does have... Oh, nice. So he's getting repaired because he rammed himself into me. That's fine. I love that. That's exactly what I want to happen. You know what? I am going to change my weapons a little bit here on the fly. I'm actually going to... he's actually going after my power core, my batteries, which is not a good thing. I don't want him going after my batteries. There we go. Is he getting hit? No, not really. Not really. Let's see. Can we change? Oh, there we go. Now he's getting hit. Yep, he is getting hit. Let's grab that wheel real quick. We'll definitely snag that. Oh, we want this weapon for sure. This weapon actually is something I'm going to put down at the moment because it will face whatever direction he's in and then actually go for him. And that's going to allow me to do just so much more stuff. I definitely lost that block. Is he stuck? I think he's stuck. Let's see, what can I change here? This is absolutely horrible. I can't believe I built a bot that can't even basically attack an enemy. Are we hitting him? I don't know if we're hitting him. I know he's flashing. No, we're not quite getting him. So what I need to do is take one of these, like this one, and put it over here, and then this one I need to turn around, because that one will actually aim at him. You can see it right there. It's aiming in the direction he's in. I don't know if it's hitting him. I don't know if it has the range. So what if I move it there and move this one over here? Yeah, that one definitely has the range. It's about to explode. Yep, there we go, and he is definitely gone, guys. Let's go ahead and put this sucker down, start picking up those pieces, and we'll end the episode. Again, guys, thanks for watching. Until next time.